Ever since men have had eyes to see, they've been looking at one another, and have often recalled absent faces by means of carvings or drawings. We can tell something of the appearance and character of an individual from out of the past by looking through the eyes of an artist, perhaps long forgotten. Even a chance doodle may be expressive. Which of us has not tried to draw faces? This is Joyce Deal, of whom I hope to get a likeness. A portrait is a portrait only if it suggests the subject. No one, moreover, likes to wind up under any such ignominious title as girl in a white dress or character study. While there could be careful considerations of composition, we are more interested today in the mere drawing of a likeness. We shall begin, then, by placing the face in the center and making it large enough to see clearly. As there are many angles from which a face may be viewed, I have to determine the most becoming or characteristic one. Then I draw an ellipse. This will orientate the face and features, and thus prevent the frequent mistake of having the eyes pointing one way, the nose another, and the mouth somewhere else. Now is a good time to set aside all the old wives' tales. The body is 7½ heads high. The eyes are halfway from the chin to the top knot, and so forth. There is no standard person. An eye line run through the inner corners, or tear ducts, will serve to give the level of the eyes. Now locate them on this line, watching the comparative size of the eyes themselves and of the gap between them. This is easier for anyone trained to gauge comparative distances. Carpenters, dressmakers, and open-field runners should do it well. Note the change of expression, as by animation I move the eyes, making them high at the outer corners or low. The shape of the upper lid may be curved, and the highest point in this curve may be at its center, near the tear duct, or towards the outer corner. The wrinkle where the upper lid folds back may be high, low, or not visible at all, and the eye may be rectangular, flat on top, or triangular. The iris may be large or small, and either entirely exposed, as with many Mediterranean people, or it may be partly covered by the lid. Since habits in drawing, as well as in living, form so easily, you should guard against them. The long necks and pointed chins of one painter, the chalky complexion of another, or the misty eyes of a third. Not only does the more distant eye seem less wide than the near one, but even on a flat paper it has an entirely different shape. Early in the mapping of the face, we should locate the jog between the eyebrows. This four-sided figure, or keystone, here drawn on the face for demonstration only, varies as much in different individuals as any proper feature. While it may be wide, narrow, or tall, it changes into a mere jog as the face turns into profile position. It almost never starts at the level of the eyes, but is often higher by a quarter of an inch or more. Since the keystone is a flat plane, as is the bridge of the nose, these lines are merely indications to show the position of the planes. Here are the forehead and nose planes of this particular face, and now I compare the nose angle with the lip to chin line. Between each is a jog, the keystone and the underside of the nose. There are also planes of the neck and jaw. On this other face, the angles differ not only from one another, but from other lines in the same head, and are entirely different from the angles of any other person. There are no two of us alike. Compare these lines with any vertical in the background. In transferring them to paper, use the edge of the drawing board to replace the vertical as a basis for comparison. To draw them, make a pass in the air, and you'll find that the plane of the bridge of the nose is about at this angle. The nostril may be either higher or lower than the tip of the nose, or level with it. Mouths may be thought of as having 5 puffs, one of which shows the upper lip overlapping the lower. The lower lip has 2 puffs on either side, sometimes with a crack or indented place between them. The risorius, or the muscle that retracts the corners of the mouth, has varying angles. As with the eyes, the 2 sides of the mouth will vary when a face turns away from us, the nearer one, of course, being larger. These variations, in turn, all relate to one another, including the cleft in the upper lip, that of the thickness of both upper and lower lips, and the crease which sometimes shows under the lower lip. The mouth is not inscribed on a flat pan, but fits over the dental arch, which curves and is as variable as the words that may come out of it. Since we've left the original ellipse unchanged, like an egg, our sketch looks like one of the man in the moon. If we consider the face again as a series of planes, we can slice the egg to make it more like the model. First, locate the widest part of the cheekbone and the corner of the jaw. These vary not only with the sitter, but with the way she sits. Do not require your model to sit too still, or you will lose the feeling of form and third dimension. While we are well aware that the skull rests on the end of the spinal column, it is difficult to locate this point. Notice that the fingers do not move as the head nods. This is because the ear holes mark its point of attachment. Most important, then, is the location of the ears. Lack of time prevents us from further discussion of anatomy and also from any consideration of feeling and design. I have used no shading, as that will vary with the medium and is covered in another film. The purpose of this film will have been accomplished if I have helped you to realize anew the extraordinary differences that there are in faces, and have encouraged you to compare angles with other angles, as well as dimensions with other dimensions. Do not attempt at first to combine character reading with portrait painting, but be content to try for a likeness and to avoid some of the habit-forming mistakes that can so easily enslave us when drawing a portrait.